Just of fall camp, and been a really good, tough, challenging, demanding last several days as we've gotten started. All part of preparing us both mentally and physically for the grind and challenge of a season. There's been good, there's been bad. We had our first preseason game, if you will, late last week, and again, it was everything you thought it would be. Big plays on both sides of the ball. Again, good and bad. If it's good on one side, it usually isn't good on the other. And but that's, again, our next step in our process as we get ready for the season. And you got great film from all of our practices, and our job as a staff and our job and as players is to watch the film and see how we can get better. And so we've been working a lot of things that challenge you physically, certainly things that challenge you mentally. As we've said, that the beauty and magic of a fall camp is about taking your players to their breaking point, taking your players to the edge, if you will. And their job is to take themselves there willingly. If you have a mature, tough-minded team, they'll do so. They know it's all necessary, again, as you build your identity as a football team and find out whether or not you can build trust. That's a player's responsibility. And find out what we're really good at. So that's all part of the process right now. And again, a lot of situational work as well. All the things that every football team in America's got to get better at and be good at in order to win at the highest level. So like a lot what I'm seeing, and really like where we're at right now.
How's your health right now, Brent?
My health?
Team
self.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into details, but it's about everybody. We got our bumps and bruises, and we've got one player that won't be back, and we know that's Jaden Gibson, and but other than that, everybody else, again, just the normal bumps and bruises.
How's your offensive line coming along, Mike?
Yeah, good. Yep, it's good. Yeah, like our leadership there, like our toughness there. I like the schemes that we have. Our backs are playing really good. The line is only as good as those running backs too. Yeah. And as we've seen, we're improved at running back from where we were a year ago. And I like our depth there. And I like our playmaking, and I like our understanding at the position. And I think there's a better understanding from the backs. What's the point? What's the read of any particular run? What's the objective here? What are we trying to set up? What are we trying to accomplish? The style of run, things of that nature. But I really do. That's a hard-working group of dudes. Those guys up front.
Brent, on your defensive line, I don't know if you've come close to figuring out a starting lineup, but do you have a sense of how many you could rotate?
Again, I think it can be consistently anywhere between 9 and 11 guys. Based on what we've seen. I've seen several guys improve from where we were in the spring. Excited about the guys returning. I think everything starts with, Ethan Downs and probably DJ Terry as far as guys that have started, but again, like how guys have come along. And we talked about some of our freshmen that got here in the springtime, but I really like the improvement of Grayson Halton. And like the improvement of Devon Sears. Certainly Dom Williams has done a really nice job of working and learning and getting better and earning the trust of his teammates and developing relationships there. But Jaden Jackson and David Stone have done a nice job as well. But, I think between Grayson and DJ, and then you look at some of our guys from a year ago, guys that were not in the mix. Champ Sanders is a guy that has just been on the steady incline of improvement. So those guys inside, I feel really good about where we're at. Got to stay healthy there. I think that goes without saying. And then outside, I like the improvement that we've seen. Again, our Mason Thomas, Caden Woolard, PJ Atabare, I think I'm missing somebody. Trace Ford, and then some of our young guys there. Guys have. I really think we're going to have some young guys, whether that's a Danny Okoye, amongst others, that has a chance to jump in that mix, and really excited about that group of guys, up front.
Brent, can you talk a little bit about the backup quarterback situation, kind of what Casey and kind of what Michael have done in that room?
They've come to work every day. Have improved through everything that we've put them through. They know how to compete. When both when put under pressure, they've shown signs of, Casey in particular knowing what to do, and I think he's still, he's been a dual threat guy in the past, but we're trying to limit that. But I don't think he doesn't have limited mobility, but just trying to be careful with him. And but all the football that he's played, it shows. And then Mike's done a great job. Mike can, he can really spin it, makes good quick decisions. He's a threat, extending plays and putting the defense, in conflicting positions. And then there's, again, young moments as well. So, but really like, again, that group as a whole, what we've been able to do there over the course of the summer and early part of fall camp. And Taylor Wine was the other defensive end that's really had a nice camp as well, playing really fast.
How's Jackson coming along?
Jackson's doing good. Again, from a leadership standpoint, showing up every day. He's been consistent. He's been challenged. Again, the guys he's going against every day, I think, is making not only him but the offense better. And all three levels of that defense, you have guys that can play for most programs in the country, if not all. And I don't like to anoint people. I think that, we'll see how they play this year. But, we have a chance at all three levels to have an awfully good group, and that's what they are facing. Jackson is facing every single day. We do mostly, again, ones against ones and about everything. So, like the progress of the entire offense. They had a nice day today, and we did some live work again today, moving the ball, and really responded, put us in scoring position, gave us a chance to win. So that's what you want.
Brent, when you lose a guy like Jaden Gibson, and you already got a couple guys at that position coming back from injury, how do you manage that group, and who are some guys maybe that have stepped up with those injuries?
Yeah, I mean, you know the guys that have stepped up, Nick and Jalil, Deion Burks, JJ Hester, I think Ivan Carrion, and Jaquez Petaway, as well as Zion Kearney. Those guys in particular, probably missing somebody there, but and then we really like Zion Raggins, what he's shown particularly early in camp. KJ Daniels did some great things. Those two guys are really, really fast, and they get to full speed in a hurry. I think our ability to run the ball and attack the field with our tight ends in the middle of the field, so between Bauer and Jake and Cade McIntyre, Caden Helms, Devon Mitchell, that group of guys, it helps everybody. They all complement each other. But the receiver group is a group of guys that's a lot of them played a lot of football, and have been really successful. So we do have some good depth there. You hate that for anybody when a season comes in to an end prematurely, but that's a group that we feel really good about who's still in that group.
Brent, you've got several guys who are going to play. Looks like transferring immediately from a group of 5 schools. Is that the new junior college recruiting, guys that can be eligible immediately, moving up a level? You're not completely sure about the transition, but you're pretty confident.
Yeah, I mean, that's I don't know if that's going to replace or not, but there's, as we know, there's some of the best players in the NFL are a group of 5 players, and so it's been proven in a very short amount of time. The transfer window's been open, or been a thing rather, that some elite players can come from there, and it can bridge the gap, maybe give you a little bit better depth at that position, playmaking and those types of things as well. But for us, you know, it's helped us. The guys that have come, they've been really good role players and even, you know, starters at a really pretty good level and kind of the glue. And that's what I look for. I look for more guys that can be, instead of thinking about all the different parts, I think the glue is the magic in putting you know, a good roster together.
How's the
JJ Hester in particular, a guy that hasn't had as many opportunities, but how have you seen him come along?
Yeah, and JJ, the only thing that's held JJ back is some injuries in his past. So he's fought through that. You know, he had a broken foot twice, just back to back, and he's been fantastic. He's long, he's really fast, he's got a tremendous catch radius. He plays tough, blocks well, and then he's an excellent special teams player. So his, again, growth and development is exactly, other than the injury, exactly what we thought we could potentially get out of him. And so he's going to have a real role for us.
how's the kicking competition
Good.
coming along?
Yeah, it's good. Real good.
You
Luke
mentioned
Elzinga has been fantastic, and our snapper's been really good, and we have a real battle at kicker.
You mentioned our Mason. We've heard about him a couple times the last
Yeah.
couple of years. What's going to allow him to actually?
Well, he had a high ankle sprain in camp last year, and then he had got another one on the other ankle. So that's what kept him from practicing and developing and being a guy for us last year. But he finally got healthy right at the end of the year and got in the bowl game and had an outstanding bowl game. And then he's picked up. He's gotten better. He's put more weight, muscle mass on his body. And he's been a leader, and the guys really respect him. He's got a high motor. He's really fast. He's super explosive.
Brent, outside of Gentry and Woody, what's really stood out to you in camp so far about your cornerbacks, or who stood out?
Yeah, I mean, Kenai Walker is probably, he may have been our most consistent guy so far at corner. Woody can play at lots of spots, and but Kenai has really picked up where he left off late in the year last year and is playing really well. Had a great spring. He's had his best, 8 months since he's been here. And then Des Malone has been fantastic. Jacoby Johnson's having a really good camp. And again, we know Jacoby's really long and aggressive. Was a fantastic special teams player a year ago, and that really helped his confidence, as he's learning how to be a corner, and he's making improvement daily there. Eli Bowen has been a guy that's been just a really good football player. Nothing's, too overwhelming for him. The moment's never too big for Eli. He's got great instincts and super good technique. And then Jeremiah Newcomb has been he's been a dog in camp, man. He's been aggressive and tough and super knowledgeable, well-skilled. And Devon Jordan, same thing. Guys that can go out there and line up and play corner. They're fearless, confident, still learning. But that's all a group of guys that, top to bottom, we're better at corner than any time that we've been here the last 2.5 years.
What would have to happen for Woody to move over and play safety or nickel?
It's just his versatility. Nothing would have to happen. It's just his versatility. Guys can't go out there and play, 95% of the reps. And so if somebody's not doing something well, or they need to have a quick coming to Jesus meeting, you got really good players that you can put in different spots. And so that's more in line with what we had talked about. We have a handful of more players, whatever that number is, a handful of more players that there'll be no drop off when a guy goes out. And that's not across the board, but that's a handful of guys. Now, will they get in the game and go do what you need them to do? Can they sustain the grind of a season and know how to prepare each and every week and start completely over and not get distracted? Can they stay healthy? That's what you're going to find out a lot about. Every team's that way, but we're in a better position from that standpoint, and so that I think you have the flexibility to be able to do it as much as anything.
Josh Bates was a guy that you talked really highly of in the spring. How much better has he gotten over the last year?
He's been much more consistent, number one, with his snaps, and has been a lot cleaner that way. And again, he's always been, which I love, again, he's a guy that helps make everyone around him better because he loves to compete, he loves football. And again, I got a small Rolodex of guys that I could say the same thing about. And but I just love guys that come to work every day They literally they love their brothers. They love the environment. They love to go to practice. They love to work. They love to compete. They know how to strain. They're just great examples, and that's why you've seen him improve and get better. But he's also had a really strong impact, with the guys around him and in the locker room.
Brent, you mentioned how much good on good you give Jackson in practice. Is that something that's a philosophy of yours, or something that Seth wanted to do? You come up with that kind of together?
Since we've been here, and really everywhere I've been, I think that's how you got to get guys ready. There'll be a point in time when you're ones against twos and twos against ones, so that everybody gets a fair shake. And but that's why.
Coach, what do you feel like the key factors could be for the defense that'll determine if they're a good defense or an elite defense this year?
Yeah, like you like stats or
just like specific areas.
We got to be consistent if we're going to be something. If you had somebody describe us, the way we would like to be described at the end of the year is a consistent group that, put the team in position to win the game on defense every single week. And I think that this is a group that, if we stay committed, we stay disciplined, we have some tough-mindedness about us, guys stay hungry, they, through success, they remain humble. So, when bad things happen, man, they're at their best. And then they're able to do that, over a 4.5, 5 month period. Can you sustain it? And that's one of the hardest things to do in anything. And so well-managed success is going to be really important, and well-managed failure, equally, as important.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Have a good one. Yep. See you.